Hey guys, Hackersploit here, back again with another video, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at how to use Dimitri, or the Deep Magic Information Gathering tool. Now before I begin this video, I have to let you know that this is the last video in the form of a request that was made last year. So this was the last video requested last year, and given that I'm very happy that I was able to complete the list, and we can start getting on with this year's list of video recommendations and continue with the series that we have ongoing. So I'm extremely happy, and for those of you wondering why I've been making these tutorial videos, those were essentially request videos that I got from last year, and so I was trying to clear that up so that our schedule was free flowing and that we can actually move on. So in this video, we're going to be taking a look at how to use Dimitri, which is an information gathering tool that essentially combines all the important aspects of information gathering in one package. Now, the important thing to understand about information gathering is there are two ways of looking at it, and there are indeed two ways of approaching or getting information from a target. You have active and passive information gathering. Dimitri by default will be on the passive aspect of information gathering. So it essentially allows you to perform whois lookups on IPs and domains. It allows you to perform a subdomain search on your target. However, this is going to be based on not actually actively targeting or actively interacting with your target, but getting information from the public, so publicly available information, sort of like what you'd have with open source intelligence, or OSINT as it's also referred to as. So it allows you to perform subdomain searches. You have email searches similar to what the Harvester tool does, which essentially allows you to gather emails from the internet, from various search engines or various websites given to a particular organization. So it also allows you to perform TCP port scanning, but of course no one's going to use Dimitri for that. That's why we have Nmap, and you sort of want to have that distinction with the tools that you use, especially if it is a professional penetration test. Alright, so I'm going to be essentially covering all the important bits that you need to know and how to fully utilize this tool for information gathering, even if it is passive information gathering. So let's get started. So Dimitri comes pre-installed with all penetration testing distributions, and by default you can simply open up the help menu as with all the other scripts, and there we are. So you have your Deep Magic Information Gathering tool. There be some deep magic going on. Yeah, so very nice slogan there, or very nice subtitle. Does not give an insight into what the tool can do, but that's why we have the help menu here. That sort of gives us an idea of all the options that we can use. So you can go ahead and check that out for yourself. I'll be showing you the most important bits right over here. All right, so let's get started with performing a whois lookup on a particular IP address. All right, so it could be any IP address. It could belong to a server. Wherever you got it from, this is the tool to use if you want to perform a whois lookup on that particular IP address. So you simply type in Dimitri, and the parameter or the option we are going to specify is the I command, which also stands for IP. And then we type in the IP address. And that IP address, in my case, I'll just use the 0.1, which is a very common internet, an IP block that is used all around the world in various networking devices like routers and embedded devices. So we can, if we just open it up, you can see right over here, it will tell us what we already know. This is an IP block because this IP is not really publicly given well, it is, but again, it is in reference to particular IP addresses, but I essentially specified the entire IP block right over here. So there we are. We have the inet whois information. You can see that the net name is right over here, the non-ripe NCC managed address block, and there we are. You can go and look at the countries that it does operate in, or it is available in. So you have Africa, Asia Pacific, North America, Latin America, and the Caribbean, which is pretty standard. So it is a very widely used IP block. Just a little caveat there in case you're wondering. All right, now performing a whois lookup on a domain is again very simple. So we can just get set here. So Dimitri, and the option we're using is W for your domain, and then we can type in a domain like zonetransfer.me. That is a simple domain, and it sort of gives you the information, but information with a bit of a record or notice here, which you can pretty much use. But again, the output seems to have been jittered, or it sort of is in a different format. or the encoding is set incorrectly with the script. But in any case, it gives you the important bit of information right over here. So for example, you have the domain name, the registry domain ID, which is quite important, the registrar URL where this domain was registered on originally. So you have the updated date when this domain was last updated in regards to its ownership. You then have the creation date, the registry expiry date, which is on December 2019, which is quite cool. And then you then have the other information like the registrar, abuse, contact email, pretty much all the WHOIS information you could ever want. And it does give you the registrant company here, the state or province, and the registrant organization, and you also get a bit of other information. And given on whether or not the domain does have WHOIS protection, it'll either give you the information for the registrant and the individual that registered the domain, or if you do have domain protection or WHOIS protection for your domain, it'll essentially block all that information from being accessed. So if you do perform a WHOIS, you'll essentially get all nil results there. All right, so that is how to perform WHOIS lookup on a domain. You then have your TCP port scanning. I won't be covering the subdomain enumeration because again, that uses publicly available information. So you're not going to get anything that possibly might be accurate. So we'll focus with these scans that will give you real and information that you can trust, or information that is reliable and up to date. All right, so you have TCP port scanning, which is very, very simple. So again, you can type in Dimitri P for the specifying that is a port scan. So you can scan my router address here, and I will just wait for this to enumerate the information. So there we are. We can see that the host name is gateway, as we already know, and we have the port and the state. So very, very simple. It essentially performs a very quick scan. It scans for the 150 most popular ports. 147 ports were in a state, in a closed state. All right, so the scan completes, and there you are. All right, so now that we know how to perform a simple TCP port scan, now let's take a look at how to look up server uptime with Netcraft. As I said, this is all in regards to publicly available information. So to do that, we type in Dimitri and we use the N command because it is going to use Netcraft. So again, we can use the zonetransfer.me, and there we are. It's going to retrieve the Netcraft information for zonetransfer.me. And for some reason, it did not give us anything. It does give you the host IP though. So let us try another website here. Again, this is sort of the issue with passive information gathering. And again, we don't get any information, which is pretty irrelevant because we have not signed up for statistics on Netcraft as well. All right, so finally we have the email search again, which is Dimitri, and we use the E parameter or the E option here, and we specify the domain or our target domain. So we can say zonetransfer.me, and well, let's see if we can obviously use the Google search engine for any information regarding to this particular domain. So we can say, for example, we can switch this up to bbc.com. Let's see if we're able to gather any publicly available email addresses that are linked to the bbc.com domain. And for this, I would recommend using the harvester because you can see you'll not get anything right over here. So for email harvesting, use the harvester for that. All right, and finally outputting your results, which is again very, very simple. So we can say, for example, Dimitri and I can essentially say 192.168.1.1, and I can output this using the O command, and I can print out the file I want it to be saved in, results.txt, right over here, and hit enter, and it's going to give me all the WHOIS information stored in the results.txt file. So it's on my desktop here, and there we are. Fantastic. So it does save it as a txt file, so you can sort of exclude the txt file extension right over here. So results.txt.txt, so I'll get rid of that, and again we can move on. So the real charm of Dimitri and the real power comes in the form of combining various parameters that we've already seen how to use to get comprehensive information and data about your target in one shot. Remember, instead of performing each of these individual scans, you can combine these parameters to give you a comprehensive scan of what you're looking for, all in regards to passive information gathering. So for example, the command I would run is, if I'm targeting a domain, I would run Dimitri WN. So WN is a WHOIS lookup on a particular domain. N is for the server uptime with Netcraft if available. So I can essentially say WN, or I can say WSN, which is again we'll also look for subdomains, but I'll use WN and WN, and then we specify the port scan if we do want it. So WNP, and then I can specify PE for the email search, which again is not going to give us much information that we already don't know, but again this is all passive information. So I'll output this into results.txt again and hit enter. And let's see what information we're able to get. So again, just the basic information. Whoops, I actually forgot to specify the actual domain. Apologies for that, guys. And we will output it to results, but we already have results on the desktop here. Yes, results.txt.txt. I better make sure to correct that. So again, we're using hsploit.com, and we will save that as results and hit enter, and it's going to start getting information in regards to that target, that particular target. So again, we'll wait for all of this to complete, and this will essentially just combine all of these scans that we've been doing and automate it into one sort of scan in one shot. So for those of you looking for the comprehensive guide to using this tool for sort of getting all types of passive information on your target, this is a great way of doing it. Alright, so I'll wait for the scan to complete and I'll get back to you when it's done. Alright, so the scan is complete and I've just opened up the file, and as you can see right over here, these are the results. It does give us the IP address and nothing more, which is quite saddening, because Dimitri was once a very good tool. But there you are. For those of you who wanted to know about Dimitri and sort of all the and how to use it to its maximum or to its full potential, there you are. And I want to say thank you for all the video suggestions that you guys provided to me for 2018. I really appreciate it, and we've completed them. And now we can move on and start working on other videos and other video series. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you did like the video, please leave a like down below. If you have any questions or suggestions, let me know in the comment section on my social networks or on the forum at hackersploit.org. And I'll be seeing you in the next video. Peace, guys.